Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello!
Hi.
Welcome to the General Hospital recap for June 19th through 23rd. We are again recording via Zoom.
You know, I just can't go have a fun time without there being some type of consequence to it. I should know better. So apparently one of my fellow Swifties gave me COVID when I was at the concert. So I have been homesick almost all week.
So I know that I was jokingly giving you a hard time about, no, you should just come over last week, you know.
Yep, so you're welcome.
So thank you. I do not have a second that I can be sick right now.
Yes.
So, that's thanks.
I know. It's so unfair, like, not to get to the reality check first, but yeah, Megan, of course, got it too, and it was like 24 hours that she felt kind of achy, and then she's like, okay, I feel better, and sure enough, like, she was negative within 48 hours, and Emily also was the same way. Well, she's not negative yet, but like feeling wonderful, and I'm still showing positive and still feel like I'm dying. Not as bad as I did the beginning of the week, but yeah, if you asked me to do anything more than like go down to my kitchen today, it's not happening because I still feel like crap.
At least it's crummy weather.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. It's not gonna, I don't think today it's gonna rain. Oh yeah, it is. It's supposed to rain off and on too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one.
Yep.
Well, you get to just lay in bed and watch some Eddie Maine.
I have been doing that. Now that I'm feeling better. At the beginning of the week, like, everything hurt, even my eyes, and I was like, yeah, nope, I'm not watching TV. I'm not playing on my phone. I literally was sleeping.
So we're going to try to record Eddie Maine in time for this upcoming Thursday's 411. Of course, it really depends on how Amanda's feeling. So get better soon.
Thank you. I definitely would like to.
Yeah. He doesn't have his own write-up, which
I
understand, but he's only a paragraph in Ned's. So I've been researching a bunch of different articles and trying to piece things together. So
yeah, that's ridiculous that he doesn't have his own. Like, didn't even Fluke have more than a paragraph, but Eddie Maine just gets a paragraph? Give me a break.
I don't know. I can't remember. I think Fluke might have.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think Fluke actually has his own page. Hold on. Luke Spencer. Eddie Maine now might get his own.
Right.
Evil Luke has his own wiki page.
See, that's not fair. Poor Eddie Maine.
So, couple of Port Charles pipelines, again, calling myself out on something that I have been doing wrong for years.
Oh my.
How do you pronounce Liz and Jason's ship name? It's Liason.
Liason? Now you have it in my head. I'm like, I don't know how I'm saying it.
So I've been pronouncing it liaison because that's close to the spelling of the word liaison. It's liaison.
Oh.
For some reason, it came up. Oh, it came up during last week's Port Charles pipeline. Someone mentioned it in the email. I'm listening, and years and years and years, I have read it that way.
Yeah.
And hearing myself say it that way, I went, there's not a second I. I'm pretty sure it's liaison because Liz and Jason.
Yeah.
So then the second thing is something that we both realized we forgot to do when we were talking with Rob, as we were talking about Melrose Place. We forgot to mention Jack Wagner.
Yes.
Of all people.
Yes. And it makes me mad because I'm telling you, it was in my head when he was talking about it. I'm like, oh, okay, next I'm going to mention Jack Wagner. And then somehow, like, that conversation was just like too much in a good way that we switched topics. And I was like, oh, okay, I lost it. And then we mentioned it afterwards, and I was like, yeah, I meant to say that.
Yeah, so I actually did not watch Melrose Place. I just know who was on it. It's on because it's on Hulu now, isn't it?
I don't know, but yeah, you need to go back and watch.
Yeah, it's
How did
It's
you
on
not
my.
watch Melrose Place?
You want to know something else I've never seen that I've
Oh
never
no.
watched, like the
Oh
entire
no.
series of?
Oh no.
Golden Girls.
What?
They're both on my I cannot die until I've watched these things. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we kept forgetting Vanessa Marcel's character on 90210, and I randomly text you Gina Kincaid.
Yes.
So, yes. Anyway, so those are, I guess, Port Charles pipelines to myself, but we did not get any emails from anyone this week. Oh, except for Rob. He did say that made we made him laugh at the end of the episode talking about his name. I did in the intro because we forgot to record that for his second part.
Oh, oops.
Yeah, but he loves that we just went with Rob.
Ah, nice.
But it isn't pronounced the way that it looks. Oddly enough, I asked my Italian grandfather years ago and he confirmed it for me. Rosello. I know, never easy. Thank you again, and I'm honored to be a two-parter. Okay. Anything?
No?
Okay. So Hulu headlines on Monday, Curtis and Trina connect.
Okay. I feel like we did that last week.
Austin cautions Laura.
That was stupid, but go ahead.
Okay. I like that they are bringing back Roger having a personality, though.
Yes.
Because he is funny. He's quirky. He
He
is goofy in a way, like in his own way.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't seen that in Austin. Austin's been pretty serious.
Reserved. Yeah.
Yeah. Reserved's a better word. Yes. Jordan receives an intriguing opportunity
Mm-hmm.
that Shannon has a lot of opinions about. I don't know about Amanda. And Nina must think fast.
Oh, God.
Isn't that all the time? She's always having to think fast because she's always having to cover.
Is she actually capable of that? Because she doesn't do a very good job.
She does. She just forgets to think beyond her immediate, how does this benefit me? Not just even selfishly, how would it benefit her 3-4 steps down the way?
Right.
She has a very toddler mindset when it comes to that stuff.
Maybe that's why she wants Wiley as her best friend.
There we go.
He's probably too mature for her now.
On Tuesday, Ava is the voice of reason. Drew confers with Sam. Liz offers counsel to Portia. TJ opens up to Alexis. And Jordan receives a surprise visitor.
Okay.
Was it really a surprise?
No.
On Wednesday, Jordan takes the high road.
Okay.
Curtis has some explaining to do. And my autocorrect changed it to curtain.
Oh.
Some explaining to do. Sasha is taken by surprise. Cody summons Gladys, and Sam is interrupted.
Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, Tracy unleashes her fury. That was not Tracy's full fury. No. Drew is blindsided. Selina mediates a conflict. Michael is grateful, and Alexis makes a suggestion. And on Friday, Carly is outraged. Gregory and Tracy clash. Olivia is desperate for answers. Drew sticks to his guns, and Lucy confides in Maxie.
She didn't confide in Maxie. No,
she confided in Sasha. Huh. Let me make sure I wrote that down right. Yeah, it says Lucy confides in Maxie, so no. That is Sasha, ladies and gentlemen. Sasha. I feel like Alex Trebek.
Thanks.
So where do you want to get started?
I don't know. This whole week, I don't know if it was because I was sick or if it just felt like they're really trying to fill spaces with some stuff, but it didn't keep my attention as much as it should have.
Could go with Laura almost fainted because she was getting blood work done, and that's when Austin caught her, took her over to the bench, gave her some water, and then tried to talk her out of going to Chechnya.
Mm-hmm. Because the city couldn't go on without her.
Yeah. And it was just, he overdid it. Instead of planting little reasons of doubt, he was just like, wait, you can't do that. You can't do that. How would Port Charles survive? You can't do that. You're the mayor.
Right. It was just over the top with no real, I mean, he could have come up with some medical reason. Like, listen, if you're reacting this way just to giving blood, imagine if you get sick, they don't have the same doctors over there, blah, 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 blah. Right. Something to make her stop and think for a second instead of just, no, you can't do that with no real reason. Like, it's Laura. No, you can't do that. Just makes her want to do it more.
And they've never really had an interaction before, right? Like, they've crossed paths, but not really.
They've said hello. They know who each other is, but they...
Right.
Yeah. Nothing more than that.
And then he and Ava spoke about how basically he tried to talk Laura out of going.
Mm-hmm.
And they're making a plan to fire Pilar.
Right.
Is that the first time we've seen Pilar?
In a while.
Okay. Because when she came in, I was like, who's this?
Yeah,
And
it's I
it
think
occurred
it's
to
the
me.
same actress, but it's been a long time. But I wouldn't swear to it.
Yeah. I don't know. I did not look that deep. But Ava was rummaging through Sonny's house trying to find what? Some
Right.
work on, or some paperwork on Pikeman, or paperwork about himself in general. We all know, and Ava knows, his office is behind the restaurant.
Right. He's not
I
keeping
don't feel like
random
Sonny brings
files.
his work home with him.
Yeah, and if so, he's not leaving them in the desk drawer in the kitchen or in the living room.
No, no. So Pilar saw the door was ajar, kind of had a second thought about it for a second, and then shut it, and then nothing else the rest of the week. So we didn't
Right.
see her report to Sonny, hey, this was open, but also it wasn't locked. So it's not like it wasn't locked, right?
No.
That drawer was not locked. Ava wasn't
Right.
able to find keys to something else, but
Right.
that's where she was looking for the keys, was in that drawer. So it's
Yeah.
reasonable to assume that's kind of like a communal junk drawer, perhaps, that
Right.
it
Right.
wouldn't
Sonny could have
necessarily
opened it
raise
before
red
he left.
flags. Yeah.
Yeah, if you came in my house and started questioning all of the drawers that weren't shut all the way, you would be here for days asking questions. No one
Oh, that
shuts a
would drive
drawer
me
all the way.
crazy.
No one shuts a drawer all the way. It's always open, just that little,
Why?
I don't know. It's too much effort to give that final push. Ask my children. I have no idea.
Like, why, guys? Why?
Right. So yeah, it wouldn't have really set off alarm bells. I'm sorry, as someone who deals with children all the time, seeing a drawer a little bit open in the middle of a day that I'm also taking care of the girls and doing whatever with them, that's not what's staying in my brain to tell my boss at the end of the day. Oh, by the way, one of your drawers was slightly ajar.
Mm-hmm.
Not happening. And
And in
I
a common room.
right, exactly.
It's
If
not
she would
like,
have walked into, if the girls would have been in his bedroom and she would have caught them in there and then saw a drawer open, sure, maybe, but
absolutely. Yeah.
not in the living room.
No.
I'm sure there's like crayons and stuff in there. Give me a break.
Right. It's probably Avery or Donna going, oh, I want to
Right,
color. So,
exactly.
yeah.
But I didn't
But
like this week that they had everybody kind of out of character because then it was Ava is saying she wants to get Pilar. Well, she doesn't want to, but she will get Pilar fired, blah, blah, blah. Ava puts her kid before anything else, even her own life. She is not going to fire or get the babysitter fired because it's going to work in her best interest. Whenever we've already established that Avery loves Pilar and like that's who's with them 90% of the time, they're not going to swap it out for some stranger.
no.
And then they did the same thing with Drew and his plea deal. He's not going to leave Scout without any type of reasoning that he actually has to leave them. And I know a lot of people online were attacking the actor, but I'm not talking about the actor. I'm talking about the storyline of just why did they even write it that way?
Who? Cameron Matheson?
Yeah.
This is why I don't go online, really.
Oh, yeah. People are talking about how, like,
I'm the one that runs our social media, and I still don't go online. That's also why we don't post that much.
well, right. No. I mean, try to not see spoilers and stuff, but stuff pops up of people just saying, like, new Drew is doing this, but old Drew would never do this. And it's like, it doesn't matter who the actor is. They have to act what's written on the paper. So if it was
Right.
written that this is how he's going to act, then it doesn't matter who's portraying it. Could be the man in the moon. It's still going to be the same way. So,
But they do, and we know this, they do change the characters when they change actors.
yes.
As we saw with Kristina, which we gotta
Yes.
try to stick somewhat. So Ava and Nina met up to go for a run as kind of like a recap of things. And then they
Yes.
opted for coffee instead.
That kind of run.
But Ava was again reminding Nina, you're messing like so much up.
Yep.
You're making decisions that you're going to regret.
Because once again, she thinks on the fly and does not think it all the way through. So she took her ring off because she was going to go tell him what happened. And then she gets to the hospital and hears that Ned thinks that he's Eddie. And she's like, oh, okay, I don't have to admit to anything then. And so he's like, well, you were going to tell me something in a big hurry and you don't have your ring on. What's up? And she says, oh, I dropped it down the drain. And then she went and actually dropped it down the drain. I would not drop my
Well,
engagement
she
ring.
had to. She said that it did.
Mm.
I mean, she's worried about being caught in a lie.
I would have it like in a dish towel, tossed to the side, and be like, oh my gosh, I just assumed it went down the drain. Thank God it got caught in this dish towel instead.
I guess that would work, yeah.
Yeah. Don't put your
Or on the,
diamond
or
down the
just like
drain.
place it on the floor.
Right.
And like I heard it, but I couldn't find it.
So I assumed it went
So I
down the
assumed it
drain.
went down. First of all, do they not have a drain stopper? That thing would not, like your earring would fall down a sink drain,
Right.
you know, because it's smaller. Most are smaller. And I feel like most people don't have those big drains anymore that are just not in
I
the
don't know.
bathroom. And we noting that's not doing dishes.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think about it being the bathroom over the kitchen because she said she was doing a mud mask.
What kind of drain do you have in your house? I have the stopper kind.
Yeah. I was thinking
Even though
kitchen
my
sink.
ring is considerably smaller, now my wedding band would probably, because it's smooth, like it's just,
Yeah.
it's a circle and the diamonds are set in. I guess my engagement ring probably would because I don't have like that big honking rock on it. So I
Yeah.
just feel like that size would not fit.
No, no. Like I said, I was thinking kitchen sink, and I'm like, yeah, my kitchen sink's open because
Right.
it leads down to the garbage disposal or whatever. So my like any ring would fit down there. But yeah, said she was doing a mud mask. So assuming you're in the bathroom, yeah, they have that stoppery thing
Yeah,
that like barely lets water go down quickly. It
exactly.
sure as heck is not taking your ring.
Exactly.
Huh? All right. Well, see? So even more reason that she could have wiped a little mud mask on it and then tossed it to the side in the bathroom and been like, oh my gosh, I just assumed, ha ha. And he'd believed that she was that stupid because it's Nina.
Yes.
So
Do we just want to stick with everything that was going on in the hospital?
sure. So Tracy tried to be comforting to Leo.
Well, so Ned wakes up and doesn't remember either Brooklyn or Tracy, which Eddie Maine knew them.
Uh-huh.
Brooklyn, I almost understand because Eddie Maine, when he was pursuing being Eddie Maine, that's when Lois left, was when she was pregnant with Brooklyn.
Right.
But then, if we're going back to the 90s, because then later on, like she came back and then they left and blah, blah, blah,
Right.
blah, which we'll get into. But he doesn't remember Tracy. Like he doesn't remember his
that was
mom.
weird.
And then Brooklyn basically tells Tracy to shut up and support Olivia. And Tracy just goes, pat, pat, there.
I know, that was so funny. She's like, it'll be okay.
And then while they're all talking, Leo sneaks in to go see Ned. And Eddie's like, look, kid, I'm not your dad. And he's like, I know, my dad's dead, but you adopted me. But then, I don't know. The Eddie that you are seeing on screen right now, if you guys have no idea who Eddie Maine even is, that's not how he acted. Like,
Mm-mm. No, he would have been,
especially with a child.
right. He would have, if he was assuming any type of, not necessarily negative, but we'll use negative because that's just the best word I can think of, that these people were like coming to see him just because they were fans or whatever would be the
Right.
negative thought. So he would have been like, hey, buddy, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And even if he would have been like, oh, dad, he would have just ignored it and been like, so what are you up to? What do you have there? Blah, blah, blah. He would have just gone with it. He wouldn't have been like, I'm not your dad, blah, 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 and got all indignant. And even the way he was talking to Brooklyn, he was like, you seem to want more too, blah, blah, blah. Let me out because I have to get back to Vegas or I have to pursue this or whatever.
Now, what would have been more realistic would have been Eddie Maine slightly hitting on Brooklyn.
Right.
Thinking, like you said, she's a groupie, she's a fan, she's loves me.
Yes.
You know, if we are going down the rock star mentality and if we are thinking that he's in the 90s, it would have been appropriate for Eddie Maine to hit on. As we learned when he first met Lois, she was 21.
Right.
I feel so old. Oh,
We're not old, just they got older. We're still young.
we are almost, you are, sorry,
Excuse me?
you are twice the age that Lois was when she met Ned. I'm not yet.
About ready to end this whole
In 3
podcast.
months, I will be, though. But in 3 months, I will be. Okay. So I'm not far behind. And you always say that you're so much older than me. Well, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not liking this.
I know. Well, that's what happens when you watch this stuff.
Right.
But then Brooklyn went and cried to Sonny, and that's when Nina found out about uh, Ned thinking that he's Eddie Maine. Sonny's like, what? And then he went over and talked to Leo, and Leo had his little fidget spinner, and he's like, other kids say that fidget spinners are like not cool anymore, but I still like mine. And Sonny told him that if he still liked it, that it made it cool.
Yes.
And then Tracy saw him sitting by himself, and as you were saying, she went over and comforted him. I think
She
she
was
did an
cute.
excellent job. I really do. I think she was trying to, oh, what did she say? You've heard about me? And he's like, yeah, you're mean, or something
Yes.
like that.
Yes. That was funny. But she said, no, well, I don't know that she didn't say she wasn't mean, but she was like, no, I'm to the point. Like, I would tell you if something was up and your dad's just not feeling right now, blah, blah, blah. And I thought she was funny when she dropped the fidget spinner because then she was like, oh my gosh, did I break it? Like, I'll buy you a new one. He's like, no, they're meant to fall on the ground. It's fine.
But she did. She did a really good job of being direct. She knew that he was saying to her basically the same thing that she was going to repeat back. He's like, he was saying this is what's happening to his brain right now, and there's too much pressure, and there's this, that, and the other thing. So she knew she could tell him, his brain's hurt right now, and
Right.
right now he's confused. He doesn't think that he's your dad right now, but don't worry, he'll remember.
Right.
Or, I don't think she said, don't worry, he will. I think she said, we're going to work really hard so that he does remember us. Because I think did she tell him like he doesn't remember who I am too?
Yeah.
But I thought that was really, really great because it was nice to see Tracy. Tracy's not really a comforter. She's not
Right.
really the most empathetic person. So
Yeah, I thought she did a good job.
that was nice. But so for those of you that are hating Eddie Maine right now, we'll make you love him. Don't
Oh,
worry.
seriously. Yeah, you got to give it time.
Yes.
I didn't think it made sense that he didn't ask for anyone that he did know either. Like Alexis mentioned that she was his angel or whatever back then, and he didn't ask for her. He didn't ask for Lois. He just, if he thinks he's Eddie, why he's not asking for any of the people that he does know as Eddie?
Why didn't he call Brooklyn Lois?
That would have been good. But he knows what time it is, so he must know that.
That's right.
Like he knows the year, so he must know that she's too young to be Lois. But Alexis would have made sense. Like Tracy even
Alexis
said,
didn't go in yet.
no. Remember she said something about being Eddie's angel, and Tracy was like, "Oh, shut up!" Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because
No.
that's what the fans called her. The fans referred to Alexis as Eddie's angel, right?
Yeah.
So when Alexis goes in, is Eddie going to love her and think that she's his?
I mean, that would finally
gal?
make it more interesting again. So I would be okay with that.
But we've already gone through this distrust, and I mean, that is what Ned and Olivia had to work so hard at overcoming. And I know that Olivia would be brokenhearted. She's not going to be happy, but she's not going to blame him and stuff like that because
Right, but it's not Ned, it's Eddie, and I don't think Alexis is going to go for him. I don't think it's
no.
I
But
don't think it's
if
gonna be like
he's
a
still
Nina
pursuing her,
situation. Yeah, it's not going to be a Nina situation where she's like, "Oh, you don't remember? That's fine. I'll still be your
you mean like
girlfriend."
Nina?
Yeah,
She's not going to pull a Nina, correct? But I'm just saying, like, if she goes in to see him, you're right. He should remember who she is.
yeah.
He might think that she's with him because they were together
Hmm.
outside of their little one night stand affair a couple years, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
As we had mentioned in previous 411s, we did a full Ned and Alexis, or did we just do the four with Ned, Jax, Alexis?
I think we just did the 4, but
Okay.
still, you got the point.
Right, that they were, yeah. Ned and Alexis were very, very much together and very much in love. I did like them as a couple. I don't want to mess up Olivia and Ned, but I did like Alexis and Ned as a couple back then.
Hmm.
It would have been interesting to see how that would have gone. But Yeah, Tracy gave Alexis a really, really, really hard time and basically yelled at her, saying that she thought that being in the 12-step program, she would be not sticking her nose in other people's business or something like
Right.
that. It like
Yeah.
oh, she said something, and then Gregory came around the corner and it's like, I was too polite before, but now I'm gonna tell you to back off. Are we gonna have Alexis and Tracy both falling for Gregory now, though? Because Tracy's gonna like the fact that someone's telling her to shut up.
I don't know. I would prefer Tracy liking him because at least what she's being attracted to is him telling her to shut up. I don't want, I know we've been flirting with Alexis, but I don't want this to be like, oh, Gregory needs to save Alexis because Alexis has not needed someone to save her. Like when she's at her best, she is a strong woman. She does not need a man. So, Gregory, thanks for your concern, but she's been handling Tracy for years and years and years. She doesn't need you suddenly stepping in and handling it.
And she kind of told him that, like, oh, no, 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 no. What'd she say? She hurts first, hates later.
Yeah.
But part of what she and Tracy were talking about was Tracy alluding to Ned intentionally slipping and falling into a pool.
Yeah. No.
Even if Ned were wanting a way to escape, he has the means to do so.
Right.
He does not need to risk killing himself.
Right. And like, how would that even work? If I decided right now that I wanted to escape the reality of my life, how do you know exactly how to fall to get that exact injury? And it's not even that exact injury because that was what TJ was saying was, yeah, he has some brain issues going on, but nothing that's explaining this change in who he is.
Until Kevin walked in on Friday and said basically his suppressed Eddie Maine brain
Yes.
is overlapping his Ned Quartermain brain. He said it more technically correct,
Yes.
but his brain is superimposed. That's the word. His brain is superimposed.
Mm-hmm.
I did not look that up. I only watched, well, I had to watch it this morning. It wasn't even on Hulu last night. Brain superimposed
I can't wait for the FBI to take your phone.
personality. I know that'd be fun. I know I'm not going to read all that. Subcortical brain. Hold on. Subcortical brain morphometry of avoidant personality disorder. This sounds like it's
Wow.
perhaps
Yes.
avoidant personality disorder is a condition by social inhibition, feelings of inadequacy, and hypersensitivity to negative evaluation. Shoot, that's me. That's not what I thought. I thought that name sounds like it should be what's happening right now.
Yeah.
That he's been trying to avoid being Eddie Maine, and now it's coming to the forefront. I don't know. Okay, there's too much here, but
Okay.
too much brain stuff.
Right. No, basically
But
Finn was saying that he really like he is Eddie Maine. His brain has taken over that he is Eddie Maine. And so the only solution is to treat him as Eddie Maine and hope that at some point he snaps out of it because like Tracy was saying, but this is wrong. We need to snap him back into his real personality. And Finn was like, yeah, it doesn't work. Or Kevin was like, no, it doesn't work that way. It won't happen till he wants it to happen. And by you arguing with him, you're just going to make him more mad.
and then I also saw online. Okay, so I did see this being talked about. Like, is he faking it?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Ned could not have faked that to Leo. There is 100%. At
Right.
first, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that'd be interesting. But no way could he have done that to Leo.
Nope.
If he's, nope. And if he is, I don't think I'm going to like Ned anymore. So,
Right. Right.
but then Deanna went in and was trying to take care of him, and he's being all belligerent. And so she's like, oh, I'll take care of you.
Yep.
Put him out
But you wish
with a
you could just
needle.
have like
She didn't punch him.
have an endless
That
supply
noise
of
was
that. Anytime that someone starts annoying you, like, yeah, just sit there for 1 second. Okay, that's better.
oh, I don't like needles. I couldn't do that.
It went into his IV, not into him.
No, she stuck it right in his arm. Because
I
he
thought
looked
she
at
got
her
it.
like, what? And then
Oh, I
I
thought
thought
she
she
got it
stuck
in
it
her
right in his
IV.
arm.
Okay.
I could be wrong though. That's where I thought that it went.
I'm not going to swear to anything this week because I
Typically,
have
when
no
they do
idea.
the IV, like she would have been down towards like his thigh, right? Because that's typically where we see them. oh, here, I'm just going to put a little medicine in here. And I don't know. I'm not a nurse. I
Me
don't know how
neither.
to. But then he wound up leaving the hospital while there are. So you're right. Like Kevin, she basically said, first of all, she told Alexis she wants to find someone who will be old school and basically do a dirty job and
Right.
do an extreme job, something like that.
Yes.
So then, like, they would go to extreme measures. And so that's what I thought perhaps Deanna was doing was, would she be the one that would do it? I feel like Amy would.
Yeah,
And we saw Amy this week.
we did getting yelled at.
And then Eddie left, went to the Savoy, and we see him looking at Nina
Yeah.
on the phone.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna try to pick her up. They think that like they spaced them like he's gonna remember, but I don't think so. He's being Eddie Maine. He's gonna go pick her up.
Okay. We're talking about Eddie Maine like he was a womanizer, and he wasn't.
No, he wasn't, but he enjoyed being a rock star. Like
Well,
he
yeah,
did
it's the
have
rock
that.
star persona is that they
Yes,
are. I felt
exactly.
bad that we're sitting here saying like, oh, he would have been hitting on Brooklyn. He would have been no, actually he wouldn't. The only person he did pick up was Lois.
Right, right. But he was flirty with other women. He never crossed the line with them, but he
Yeah,
wanted to make his fans. I mean, that's what actors and musicians are paid to do as part of their whole performance is to make you think that you actually have a chance with them whenever you see them in person. So he would be like, "Hey, how are you? Blah blah blah." Like in just a little flirty, like an office flirtation level.
what?
An office flirtation level. Flirty.
What's that? You don't like
Like
The Office?
no, no, not the office, the show, like the office, like your work office, like a work office, not you in particular.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I've never flirted in my office. In
I
any
feel
office that I've been in, yeah.
I feel like when you're at work, you have people, not you specifically, but you have people that you're like cute and flirty with. There's like a line there that you're not crossing, but like you're cute and flirty with them.
Okay.
Anyway, I feel like that's what he's supposed to that was what he was supposed to give off back then of like, oh hey, oh my gosh, like you're so beautiful. If I wasn't in a relationship, oh, I definitely would be giving you a chance. Kind of, like make the women feel beautiful and like, oh yeah, it's just because
Coyote Ugly. Sorry, it's been racking my brain. I'm like, there's a movie that talks about this specifically about how you're supposed to give the impression that you are available but not be available. And it was Coyote Ugly.
there you go.
Sorry.
See, well, thanks. You just summed it
But
all
that's
up.
why when you said The Office, and I'm like, okay, well, Jim and Pam did flirt even though when she was with Roy, but that was not right. And that's a whole thing that we can get into, but that's not the right
Yeah.
podcast. Okay.
Anyway, thank you. Coyote Ugly, perfect definition. There you go. That's what he's supposed to be doing. So he wasn't a womanizer. He was doing what he was supposed to be doing. He did not hook up with all his women, but yes, he was flirty with them.
He was a showman.
There you go.
Yes.
So, or do you think he's going to be triggered by Nina and remember?
I feel like that'd be anticlimactic and just a waste of time for us to even be mentioning this if it only lasted a week.
It could be one of those like, oh, I kind of know her. Like
Maybe.
not bring back every memory, but kind of like remind him that there's something else.
Maybe.
Kind of like Jax did to isn't that what Jax did to Sonny? Like Sonny was kind of like, I can't place him, but I know I don't like him when he was in Nixon Falls.
But that's when Jax was shot, is when
Yeah.
he thought that he saw Sonny. So he just marked it up to I had just been shot. I might have been hallucinating and thought that I saw Sonny.
No, I meant when Sonny saw Jax.
Oh.
Was it like I know I don't like you, but I don't know why I don't like you kind of thing. Like there was a remembrance of him.
I don't remember.
So anyway, I mean I hope that I just assume and hope that it is that he's going to be flirting with Nina because like you said, that would be stupid if we just triggered it right back. Besides, I want to see what new lies Nina comes up with when she's like, oh hi.
This is gonna be insane.
Yeah.
Because so she and Sonny were at the Savoy. Joss and Dex showed up. Joss 21 yet?
I don't know.
I don't think she is.
Let me
No,
have a
because
picture.
she voted in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And she had turned 18 that year.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, yeah, she should be then.
Yeah.
No, she's turning 21 in November.
Yes. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Is that the right math?
Yeah.
So yeah, she'll be turning 21. So she shouldn't have really been in there either.
Well, she didn't have a wristband. I was gonna say maybe it was one of those like you can come for the entertainment, but you have to have a wristband
Right. Like we've
thing.
seen them in there when like when Trina's party was happening and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But yeah, that was my first thought. I'm like, I thought this was a 21 and over place, but okay. But so she and Sonny have a talk, and he's like, Michael forgave me. Can you forgive me? She's like, Dex had this job before I met him. So that's the extent of it.
Right, exactly. I thought she did a good job of being like, what'd she say? When I am angry with you, I hurt people that I care about that also care about you. So I'm
Mhm.
not going to do that anymore. But as far as like us being okay, nah, we're not quite there.
Yeah. But then Nina is trying to talk to Dex about how they both care about Sonny, and it's in Sonny's best interest if she gets along with Joss.
Yeah. No, not necessary.
No, no.
Mm-mm.
And then Joss came over and okay, so I guess we have to go to the courthouse then.
Yeah.
I mean, really the only thing that happened was the judge said that he should be sentenced to maximum, which is 20 years,
Right.
but then he was actually sentenced to 3 and Zeke was like, but he just helped rescue the world. And the judge is like, yeah, because of that, I'm considering all of that, but he's going to do 3 then, not 6
Yeah.
months. But he's going to go
And
to Pentonville.
right. That's the part. I mean, obviously the time sucks, but that's the part that really makes the difference because Spring Ridge, it's like, okay, you could probably bring Scout to visit and like keep it somewhat normal, but Pentonville, mm-mm.
And before all that is when he told Sam that he was turning himself in. And thank goodness she kind of freaked out. And, he said, and we called him out on this a few weeks ago when he initially said, I'm going to do it. And he's like, well, she'll have Dante. And Sam's like, that's not a substitute. That's a
No.
bonus. That's
Right. It's not his job to parent because you're going to go save your girlfriend by turning yourself in for something you didn't even do.
right. So
Do you think that judge is on Miss Wu's payroll and that they're going to negotiate it down so that then she owns Drew too?
Drew owes her.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. Because I feel like if that was the case, then he would have only had the 6 months.
Yeah, but I feel like he needed to get that sentencing so that she can swoop in and be like, hey, you have a special set of skills that I might need to use sometime. So I'll be your friend and get this lowered down if you remember that you owe me. Because she seems to want to have everyone in the town owing her something.
That's a really good question. That's interesting. But I feel like if she had a judge in her pocket, she would have mentioned that in another scene.
Oh, that's true.
Do you want to jump there?
Sure.
So Sam is disguising herself behind a big hat.
Right, because that was like I had no idea that was Sam.
No clue. That hat hit her whole face.
Yes.
She had a microphone clipped to her
Magazine,
and it looked like our microphones.
it did. I thought it was
But I mean, it's a lapel mic. It's not anything fancy. So,
right. I thought it was a camera at first, though.
mm.
And then they said it was a long distance mic.
And then Spinelli. So Spinelli first met with Sam and Cody, and he's like, I don't want to help this guy. I don't want to help this guy. Why are you making me do this? And Sam's like, because I am.
Right. Just say yes, I'm asking. And he was like, fine, fair, Samantha, whatever.
So there were 2 really good mini in under 30-second 411s this week. Olivia gave a quick rundown of Eddie Maine.
Mm-hmm.
Super quick. I mean,
right.
Super quick. But then Spinelli gave a very detailed rundown of Gladys.
Yes.
That was very good. Okay, his was probably about a minute, but it was very, very good. But so they approached her at the pool and did not occur to me. And how has this not been on 2020 yet? That someone has been caught for a crime because of their Fitbit.
I know. That made so much sense that it gives your coordinates.
It gives your coordinates until it says, well, you went up and down so many steps. At this time, you should have been sitting watching the thing according to what you were saying, but instead you were walking around and then you were backstage.
Right.
I loved it. And then Spinelli pointed out she never said she was innocent. She
Nope.
just kept saying, well, you can't prove that. Well, you can't prove that. Never said, but I didn't do it.
Right.
But then when Spinelli gets done talking about how the Fitbit tracked her, and okay, it wasn't Fitbit brand, it was your favorite fitness tracker app.
Right. I thought he was going to say it was from his app that he was getting all kind of information off her phone.
That would be a really cool thing to have on a dating app if you were in proximity to somebody else that was on the dating app that might match your
Doesn't
profile.
it do that?
Like if you're in the same room with, I don't know, I haven't been on a dating app in 14 years. But like, so
that...
if Society Setups had been on her phone and somebody else in the room at the nurses' ball was also on Society Setups and a match for her, it could have pinged like a notification saying, there's a match for you in this room.
I think Tinder does that. I have never used it.
But I have
think
no idea. But if not, I'm trademarking that and figuring out how to do that.
Okay.
But that would have been so good.
That would have been, yeah. I was thinking it was going to be his.
Oh, but all I kept thinking is they're going to catch a serial killer by Fitbit. I can't wait for that 2020.
There you go.
Or that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But so when Spinelli gets all done talking about all that, Cody had the best line, and that's nerd forgotcha.
Yeah.
I love that. I was like, Amanda would say that.
Yep.
Like,
I liked it.
Here's the translation from Shannon Talk to Real Talk.
Uh-huh.
And then Kristina.
I feel like she's not that dense anymore. Like
exact wording I wrote.
Oh, really? Yeah. She walked up and Sam's like, okay, go get a drink. Sure, you can get yourself something to eat. Just go. And she's still like, no, I need to know what's going on, blah, blah, blah. I feel like she would say at this point, okay, you're obviously busy. I'm going to go get our drinks and whatever. And then meet me here whenever you're done, because I want to talk to you about our sister.
The second that Molly came up, that is kind of when Sam was like, okay, fine, let's go talk about this now.
Right.
But I guess we'll wrap this up real quick. The waiter picks up the magazine. The microphone goes flying off. Selina steps on it and like, drop something. And then basically tells her kids to knock it off.
Yeah.
She's like, listen, you're both my favorites. Knock it off.
Right. You can't have this drama in my game. So you're just going to stop. Gladys, you're going to drop the charges. And Cody, you're going to stop bringing up whatever you're bringing up that makes her mad.
But she mentioned that when you go to court, a server is going to be there remembering XYZ. And that's what I was thinking. But if she had the judge in her pocket, it would be, but you're going to go up against, like, don't worry about it. I know the judge you're going to go up against.
That makes sense. Yeah.
But I liked that thinking. Just given that we had that conversation this week, I do feel like she would have said that in that.
That makes sense.
But
well, then Gladys stays behind to discuss her debt. And the psychiatrist dude walks in and is like, oh, I can probably help you out. What is that about?
I don't know. Because, okay, so if he covers her debt, she's on the hook to him, which gives her no influence over his treatment of Sasha. So it's not like she can't manipulate him then, because he's the one
with the power.
Yeah.
Unless the way he meant that he would help her was by keeping Sasha under her thumb, but that wasn't the way it made it sound.
Oh.
Because she said to him, why would you pay off my debt? So it makes it sound like he wants something from her.
Yeah. I don't know.
Be interesting to see that character develop.
Do we just want to jump back to Kristina real quick and wrap that up?
Oh, sure.
I literally wrote, she's usually not so dense. When they finally got down to the restaurant to get the better service, as Sam was saying, they have better service down there or inside or wherever they were. They start talking about Molly. And the moment I wanted to punch the screen was not even yell at the screen, like straight up through the screen, slap her upside the face. Out of all of us, I'm the one with functional plumbing. Are you kidding me?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right. Why would you ever say that to your sister?
To any woman, any man too. I mean, even if you're talking to someone, if they're having trouble getting pregnant or they are having reproductive health issues.
Right. You're not going to brag about, oh, mine are perfect. Yeah. It was crazy.
I don't know. I was so mad about it because like we talked about earlier, they do start to write the characters differently when sometimes like a little bit when but I feel like that normally happens when we see how the actor is portraying. So it's almost like they gave so like when Nicholas was recast, and we saw him come back. I feel like in the first couple weeks we saw him being written as Nicholas would have been written.
Right.
But then once you start to see how the actor carries him or her, like
Right.
whoever the change is, this is just a straight up now Chrissy's an idiot.
Yeah.
This is what we did before. This is why we hated it before.
Yep.
I mean, that was a more idiotic.
Yeah.
But Chrissy's matured. She wouldn't have she was on the right track when Sam was accusing her of all the you're not even thinking. And she's like, I literally have the entire plan right here for you.
Yeah. No, it was an odd comment that she would not say. Thank God she said it to Sam instead of to Molly, but it still was odd. So do we think that they're going to have Kristina be Molly's surrogate?
Oh.
I could see her doing that for Molly.
Now, you see, this is where the comment would have made more sense is Molly and TJ had met with Dr. Navarro about harvesting her eggs and talking about surrogacy. Unfortunately, now we've learned that Molly pretty much has a very low chance with her eggs of being fertilized. So even surrogacy is pretty much highly questionable if it'll work. But had TJ and Molly talked about that with the family, and then maybe Kristina be extremely bothered by it and have the conversation with Alexis where it like really, really bothers her. Like, why am I the one that doesn't have a problem? I'm not planning to have kids, blah, 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 blah. And see her questioning why, not just the, I'm perfect and you're not.
Right.
Like if we had seen her do it with the actual hurt that Kristina has.
Yes.
Yes. But that would have made more sense for her to address the fact that she does not apparently have these
issues. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
And also, we also don't know Kristina and Molly are the closest genetically to being biologically full sisters because their dads are brothers.
Right.
So there is also a chance if it is genetics, could there be a chance? I mean, obviously, Rick and Sonny each have different dads.
Yeah.
But it's kind of reasonable to assume that they could tie those in where Kristina also does wind up having issues. She's just never tried.
Right.
Or had any interest in it. So she's never.
Yeah.
I
don't know. We'll see. They're jumping to conclusions with Molly way too fast. So I hope that they actually take the time to go do the other medical tests that they would need to do. I know right now she said, oh, let's just not think about it for a while and just enjoy our life or whatever. But that is the wrong answer when it comes to fertility stuff because the sooner the better. So I hope after talking about it, they change their mind or else. Not that adoption's a bad choice, because like we said, I think that would be awesome if that's the route that they chose. But she's closing doors to possibilities the longer that she waits.
I don't know if I want Kristina to carry their baby now just because of that comment.
She can't make up for it by giving them a baby.
She could give them her eggs.
She could give them her eggs. And I'm okay with that. Like, I really like the idea of them exploring all of the fertility issues because it's a big thing. Like we've talked about, they do the stuff that's in the news. It's a big thing in the news now because lots of states are mandating that they have fertility insurance coverage no matter what your insurance is. And so I'm hoping that they get into all of that. But the timeline, at least from the experience that I've had with it, is yes, you go in for an ultrasound and some blood work, and they can tell you within a very short amount of time, this is what your blood work's saying, and this is how many follicles you have. But until they get in there and are actually testing her eggs, you can't give a complete idea of if it's going to work or not. They can give a general, yeah, probably not. But, there's more information that she needs before she just is like, oh, okay, I'm done. No, we're not going to do this. Let's move on to Kristina.
And this is also not Molly. Molly meets a challenge head on and says, okay, cool. Let's figure this out.
Right.
Not cool, but you know what I mean? It's
right.
She has her moment. She accepts reality. And then she's like, okay, there's literally nothing I can do about changing this. What do we do?
Right. Exactly. So I feel like, again, when you're meeting with a fertility specialist or a doctor that has to do with fertility, that's the number one thing they're going to say to you also is the longer you wait, the less options you have. So if we're saying that damage has already been done to your eggs because you haven't had the endometriosis examined until now, why would we let it go for another 3 years, 5 years, so it can continue to damage them?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. So I'm just hoping that they, like I've said it 1,000 times, I hope that they actually explore this instead of just like slapping a label on it and moving on.
Yeah.
So I did think
maybe they'll make Kristina smarter in the process.
I hope so. I did think that TJ was cute talking about it with Alexis. Like, talk about like real life talk there of they tell you forever not to do it because you're going to end up with this oops baby. And you just assume when you want it to happen that it's going to 1, 2, 3, now we're ready. And it never occurs to you that when you want to, it's all not going to work the way that they've been scaring you it was going to work all these years.
Yeah.
So,
they do have a good relationship.
Yeah. Alexis was a typical mom. Like, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm the one that kept saying, be careful, be careful, be careful.
Well, but she even said, and was I the only one telling you that?
Right.
And he's like, no. And she's like, okay, then, you didn't.
Right. Yeah. In general, teenagers should wait to have babies. Good idea. So, what next?
I guess where we left off Zeke and Portia last week was they were talking. And then this week she called him out on, I can tell when you're lying. Remember that time when you were younger, blah, 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 blah. He is a pushover for being an attorney.
Yeah.
I understand it's his little sister, right? She's his older brother, or she's his little sister, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know their age, actually.
I don't either.
But she kind of asked once. He's like, I'm not going to tell you. Then he says, I got to know Jordan. And she's like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But okay.
Too much information. She asked
one more question. He's like, oh, you're really not going to let this go, are you? 2 questions in.
Right.
And then he's like, fine. Curtis and Jordan kissed.
I really don't know why he had to tell her.
Because he knew.
Yeah, but
she would have been so mad if she found out that he knew and didn't tell her. That's her brother. He's supposed to protect her.
Hey, I'm not sure that Portia is one to be talking about anybody keeping secrets.
As was mentioned by Jordan.
Yes.
When she went and when Portia went and approached her.
Right. I don't know that felt bad is the right wording, but felt like it was unfair to Jordan because she's like, listen, I didn't tell you because he told me not to tell you, and I was trying to respect all that. I stepped away after it was clear that he was very confused, and I'm not trying to be in on your business. So just like I was trying to move on, having a one-night stand with some hot guy I met at the bar. I didn't know it was your brother.
Yeah. I'm more impressed with the fact that only words were exchanged.
Yeah.
But Jordan did. She told her, well, you lied to him too. And I tried to tell you that was not going to be a good idea.
Exactly.
But then Curtis and Trina were hanging out at the pool, and she's like, well, my Uncle Zeke said that I need to be careful and that you're why my mom's upset. And Curtis did just straight. Now, see, Curtis did a good job. He was like, all right, you know something's up. I'm going to tell you because if I don't tell you, you're going to find out. And then you're going to be more mad about the fact that I didn't tell you. And so he told her.
No, had a yes and no on that one. Like, yes, if someone's going to tell her, it needed to be him instead of letting her hear it from someone else. But at the same time, are we really going to drag her into every issue that happens between him and her mom?
No, but I mean, this is definitely one. Like, if she didn't know that there was a problem, it's the same thing. You know, Zeke's telling her, stay away from him, stay away from him. Curtis is going to be honest and say, this is why.
Yeah, I'm all with him being honest. I just don't think it was fair of Zeke to say anything. Like,
it's not like, no, because it's not like he broached the subject. It's not like he went to her and said, oh my gosh, Trina, I just messed up so bad. You need to help me fix things with your mom. I kissed Jordan. That would be inappropriate for him to bring it up and start the conversation. He didn't.
No.
He was trying to build his family. And then she's like, she bugged him pretty much.
Right.
If he had lied to her after all these lies that have been told to her over the past how many years?
No, I'm not saying lie to her. I'm just saying, at what point are we going to tell her that it's none of her business?
I feel like he pretty much did after that. But he was like, this is what happened.
I hope he sticks to that because I feel like that's like we're acting like Trina's part of their relationship because they're all adults. It's not. There's still the mom-dad relationship or the
Right.
mom husband relationship, however you want to word it in their case, and the child. She doesn't need to be part of that. She shouldn't be mad at Curtis in relation to the things that are between her mom and him.
I think she has a right to be upset about the fact that he hurt her mom.
Yeah, but I just don't know that this was big enough that Zeke needed to say anything. That's what I
Then
mean.
it goes back to Zeke, not
Yeah. Yeah, my issue is totally Zeke even playing into it.
right. It's not like Curtis is dangerous but that is emotional. Like that could be the whole situation's messed up. And as she reminded Curtis, the only person who kept his vows was Taggert. He
Right.
never cheated. He never kissed anyone else. He never
Right.
slept with anyone else.
Yeah, Taggart's the best. I agree with her.
Why didn't we have a Father's Day struggle with Trina? With oh shoot.
Oh yeah, why did we make it his birthday instead?
Well, I think it is. I don't know. I actually didn't even look up his birthday really. But
I mean, like, it did show her like not struggle the same way it would have been with Father's Day, but she was like, "Oh, his birthday, I'm going to show up, but I don't want it to be this whole big to do. Like, oh, I'm his daughter. I just want to give him a nice present and be done with it."
right, like the macaroni frame was adorable, but that also would have been a great Father's Day gift.
Yeah.
So why in June did we not? Curtis's birthday is June 8th. So that was at least the right week. But still, it should have also, I feel like the more of the struggle would have been Father's Day. And then Taggert is obviously going to have these feelings regardless. But seeing him have those struggles on Father's Day of, oh my gosh, I've spent the past 20 years loving this day, loving the girl that I thought was my biological daughter. And yes, she is still my daughter, but now I'm going to have to share her. Like they could have gone a whole different level on that, that they didn't. But Taggert shows up. Oh, so Laura goes to see Jordan and is like, hey, I got to leave. You need to resign. And we're all like, what? She needs to pick a replacement or a deputy mayor right away because we still haven't replaced Eileen.
Right.
Have we forgotten about Mac? Coat. No? Okay, cool. Just going straight over Mac, picking Jordan, and Taggert goes to see Jordan, and she's like, well, I need to pick a new commissioner. Do you want the job? Because he asks her, are there any jobs for detective and PCPD, blah, 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 blah. Again, not Mac. How about we bump Mac up to be commissioner and Taggert can be the chief of detectives because he just asked for a detective job.
Yes.
So I love the fact that obviously means we are keeping Taggert and
I would hope so,
getting a more sticky role.
I love that means that we're going to keep Taggert, but I also loved that Jordan was like, how am I supposed to be the mayor? I have no, I didn't even have interest in this. What are you talking about? How is this my job now?
Why don't we give Anna?
Oh, well, can she have a job now that she's been...
The WSB fired her. Oh, yeah, I guess that stuff hasn't been settled yet, huh?
I mean, she was a double spy.
Yeah, but she was also commissioner. That's what I was thinking. And now she doesn't have a job. And Laura could have been like, hey, listen, I know all this stuff happened. You know, I have your back. I've been with you through all this, pretty much.
But can she be it after she's been in trouble for being a double spy? Was that just is that just the WSB or is that like...
But I don't know because they just outed her. Like Victor just outed her as being a double agent. I don't know. That just would have been an interesting...
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know the legalities of it. I would think, to me, the WSB is like the FBI. So if you get in trouble with the FBI level, I would assume that you're not being commissioner or mayor locally. But I don't know that one has anything to do with the other.
Who knows?
Who knows?
If you know, let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com. Oh, Finn and Gregory talked real quick about the Disney trip that was supposed to happen a month ago, right?
Yeah. And Finn's like, okay, I'm ready to leave like tomorrow. And Gregory's like, what are you talking about? I took a job. I can't leave now.
Oh, Liz talked to Epiphany's photo.
Yeah.
And has a meeting with Monica.
Yes.
And Amy accidentally woke up Portia in the on-call room. And that's where she was like, but why are you here? Well, you must have a patient that's, having trouble. What's going on?
Yeah, she got sent away for that. And she got snipped out for discussing Eddie Maine with Alexis.
Yes.
And she was like, but they're like family. And Liz was like family is not the same as family.
I feel like the hospital needs stickers on all the computers. Don't forget HIPAA.
Yeah, maybe we can get those made for them. Here you go.
And then I think the last thing was Maxie, Sasha, and Lucy and Gladys.
They were supposed to be talking about the Deceptor and finding a new manufacturer because the one that they have is not keeping up with the demand. But that was like the longest lunch that didn't take place to discuss something that never got discussed ever. We think Brando likes Sasha, or not Brando. Oh my gosh. Brando is who she was talking to at the end about the fact that Cody, she's not ready to move on with Cody. They were talking about Cody liked her, and she's like, no, 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 no. And then they were talking about the Deceptor again. And then they went back to Cody, and or I guess before that, Gladys was there, and she's like, I'm not going to sit here and listen to you talk about how much you love Cody, and I can't listen to your conversation that's about confidential stuff. So I'm just going to go somewhere else. And so that's when she went and ended up having the run-in with Cody about everything. And then what else did they talk about? Oh, they both went away. So then she could have the conversation with the picture of Brando on her phone.
Well, Sasha was telling them that she thinks that both Cody and Gladys are victims. They're both victims.
Yeah, they're not, though. Gladys just sucks.
And Lucy and Maxie pretty much, no, so we're going to believe Cody on this.
Right.
Gladys
Lucy
works for us, yes, but we're still going to believe Cody.
Yeah, Lucy was like, he's my daughter's half brother, so I just believe him more than Gladys because she is sneaky.
So maybe Lucy can, no, because that happened on Thursday where Lucy did tell Maxie that she thinks Cody has a little crushy on Sasha.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
when
that's
they said
not her confiding in her. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought confides was the conversation with Sasha about marriage or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and that's so Sasha overheard and comes over and is like, knock it off.
Yeah.
I did like that she asked Maxie, like, how were you after Nathan?
Right.
So,
it was all good conversation. I just felt like it really was filler in the way of we could have had that conversation in 15 minutes and been done with it. And instead it felt like every 15 minutes we had to flash back to them to listen to them talk about something, and they're getting up to go to the bathroom and they're fixing their makeup and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, really, why are we focused on all of this?
but then we're left with just Lucy and Sasha, and Marty shows, or she's like, I would sit there and with the daisies and do, he loves me not. And then Marty shows up with daisies.
Yeah.
And they're her favorite flower.
Mm-hmm.
And so Sasha's like, fine, if we're talking about marriage, when are you two getting hitched? And they both say never.
Yep.
Which Martin's happy about. And Lucy turns out that she was trying to play a very dangerous game that does not work because it backfired. She tried to call his bluff, and that's a dumb thing to do with love. You don't do that.
Yeah.
Because she does want to get married, and that was just dumb. Poor Lucy.
I felt bad for her because I could see I can see what like she wanted there. Again, I understand it's not the grown-up way to go about it, but it would be romantic and cute for her to have said no and him been like, oh, but darling, I thought we were going to make an exception for each other because I just need you. And instead he's like, nope, 3 X's is enough, thanks.
Exactly. And she knows that. She knows that, he pays a ton of alimony, as we saw. $50,000 a month goes out.
Yeah. I liked
and then
that
the third
number.
one's texting him, you're ignoring me. And then he falls in the pool.
Yeah. Maybe he's getting amnesia too. I don't understand.
But yeah, that was just, when has Lucy Coe never spoken her mind?
Right.
Well, you just got what you didn't ask for, girl.
Yeah.
Or what you did ask for, but it's not what you really wanted.
Yeah. Don't play games.
Don't play Nina. Don't be a Nina.
Yeah.
You got to think these through. Got to think about, okay, so what does happen if he also says no? Or if he does the thing, what happens then? Love is not roulette.
No.
Russian roulette or roulette. I don't know.
Russian
I mean,
roulette.
I know the difference between Russian roulette and roulette, but like, I don't know actually roulette. So,
I mean, I think either one would work, but Russian roulette's way more fun sounding. So
please don't play Russian roulette.
I'm not going to play Russian roulette, but I mean, as comparison of love, like the live or die, that's I like that that metaphor better.
Gotcha. Okay. I think that was it. Everything is crossed out.
Okay.
Reality check.
So other than having COVID, what'd you do this week? Or have anything go on?
No, I did. Well, Madeline went to gymnastics because she does not have COVID and has been quarantined to stay away from me. And so she was proud of herself because they learned how to pull up and like flippy over the bar, and she did it all by herself. So that was her big exciting news this week, which I was impressed with because there's no way in heck I could get my body up on that bar and flippy over. But
Awesome.
yeah, she was very proud of herself. So that was good. Um, Megan got some new animals to add to our household because we don't have enough. So now we have
You need to start charging
three,
admission to your zoo.
right? That's what I told her. I was like, this is insane. Now we have three geckos in addition to our ridiculousness. Two of them are spotted, and one is something else that has sticky paws, but I don't know what it's called. So
Has sticky paws.
it
Don't they
has
also they can climb up everything?
yeah, the sticky pod one can climb up like the aquarium and stuff, but the spotted ones, speckled ones, whatever I said they were called, they do not have sticky feet, so they just stay like on the rocks and whatever.
Hmm.
hmm
I definitely thought all geckos could just climb stuff.
I thought so too, but yeah, apparently there is a difference, and it's neat because she bought one on her own, and then two, someone gave her like as a rescue thing. They're moving and they can't take them with them, so they asked her if she wanted them, and so she had not planned out their names, but their names, hers was Hank, and the ones that she got are Tank and Frank. It says Hank, Tank, and Frank, like they're
Aw,
meant to be brothers.
that's really weird that coincidence.
Yeah.
Meant to be.
Yep. So, but yeah, besides that, I have been laying in my bed. Can't even say that I watched anything like great on TV because, like I said, my head hurts, my eyes hurt. So I've just been sleeping constantly,
That
and it
stinks.
sucks. This is
We
like,
kind of
I
picked a
know,
good week though. It's been raining so much this week. After the
yeah,
weeks that we've been saying we needed rain, it finally started to. So at least it
yeah,
was like kind of a crummy,
sure.
yeah.
Thanks for trying to make me feel better, but no. So, what did you do fun this week?
So my daughter finished her second week of the work program with the one organization. They went back to the Eaton Park Cookie Factory, so that was fun.
Oh, I want cookies.
Um, Tuesday, I was I accepted my nomination, or I accepted being voted in for my ninth term on the board of directors of her school. And I was like, well,
Congratulations.
that just solidified. Yes, she has to stay through her 21st year so that I can have a 10th term and just
Oh
go out with my decade. So of course I'm gonna stall her progress if she's able to move on. Sarcasm, people, sarcasm. But
yeah.
our depending on how the next year goes, I don't think that things are going to progress to the point where she won't have to or be
Right,
able to not. Things have to be in place for her before she can leave. So
right.
if things keep moving at the rate that they are right now, no, she will be staying next year. But that was nice.
Yeah.
Um, and then yesterday, I actually gave a presentation to. So this work program that she does is actually offered by other organizations too. They each have their own style and different way of doing it. But this is the first year for this organization. It's the Autism Employment Network in Pittsburgh. And they reached out and asked me to talk about real estate careers. And so I went and talked to, it was about a dozen kids. And I have my little slideshow. I get to the slide about my family. There's my daughter. Half the kids know her, and one of the teachers too.
Oh, cool.
And she's doing this program actually next month. And they're like, I know her. I'm like, okay.
Aw.
So it was sweet. It was sweet. But these kids were great. They had so many questions about real estate. So this organization is having the people come talk to them. The one that she just finished attending, they would go to different locations and talk to the different businesses about what they do and things like that. They're having people, this one is having people come in and talk to them during the day about what they do. How do you get into it? So I didn't just talk about being a real estate agent because even though, yes, we are kind of like the face of it, so many different pieces go into it. So I talked
Right.
about, also being a photographer, being a stager, being a home inspector, an appraiser, a transaction coordinator, a social media marketing, all those different things that, all the different types of supports that we really can use. So
Yeah.
didn't just limit it to that, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So
That's awesome.
They're going to be doing more throughout the summer. So hopefully I will be back to talk about them with the kiddos. So, and I'm saying kiddos because I have a kiddo that age.
Right.
They are young adults, well, young people,
Yeah.
because some of them are still in high school and I don't think 18. So the youths, but it was fun. So
That's awesome. Good job.
other than that, I mean, I don't think last night was the first night that I was home and I was asked to go do something. And I was like, no, I have been out every single night this week. I was probably gone from like 8 a.m. until at least after 8 every day. So I was like, no, I'm staying home.
Yeah.
But all good things. So
Good.
getting ready to take her to camp. That's kind of why we're also recording Saturday morning. Not like you guys really need to know this, but we are, because I have my last nephew's graduation party tomorrow and taking my daughter to camp. So
Nice.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
So join us on Thursday as we talk about Eddie Maine.
I'm so excited. All those pictures of him in his little leather pants.
It's going to be good.
Exactly. Have a good week.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review.
And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer 54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast